get that hat on.
Just like
It's
that.
the hat and the headphones that's the problem.
You got to put the hat over the headphones.
I don't think there's enough room. Barely fits on me as it is.
Looks like we're getting. Yep. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back.
What a great week it was.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian. Good week? Great week?
Great week.
Yeah?
Just not a football.
Oh.
Not for me. Sleeper fantasy started off terrible. I think I'm like 30 points, and I've already had like a few players play, including my quarterback. So it's like I'm gonna lose this week.
Oh, this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did not look good for you.
Somewhat.
I looked at your matchup, and I was like, oof.
They had me losing.
He started
going in.
Gino. But you know what? That Tracy projection is low because Singletary's out. So that's good for you. The Miles Sanders start, you might as well start nobody.
I don't think did I start Miles Sanders?
Yeah, you did. You are. You're doing that. You're doing it. If I were you, I would just go to the waiver wire right now and pick up Tyjae Spears. I would start Spears over Sanders. Like, that's not even close.
I can do that right now.
Agreed.
And even like Algier would be a better start on the
Oh,
other.
I'd actually do Algier.
You'd start Algier over
Yeah.
Spears? I don't think I'd do that.
Bijan is limited in his reps.
Oh, he's got a hamstring.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah, he's right.
Algier is
He's
going
right.
to get a lot of
You should
carries
start Algier.
in a great matchup.
Yeah.
He could actually go off today. I was considering him for my DraftKings, but just didn't have the stones to do it. But
Brian's right. Listen
but
to
in
Brian.
this situation, I'd definitely go Algier.
I remember thinking that too, like putting that in the back of my memory when I was like listening to updates for the injury reports at the end of Friday, and yeah, there's a couple that we'll come across throughout the day, I'm sure. But yeah, it's a good one. Good morning, everybody. We're helping Ray get set up. We want to make sure that he gives Juana a run for his money since he beat me by half a point this week on a Patrick Mahomes sack on Monday night. Come on, man. What are you doing, Mahomes? You right into like he might as well have fumbled. He might as well have butt fumbled for all the good he did me. You know.
Fantasy football, gotta love it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I was telling these guys earlier. I both won and lost a match by a half a point or less this week. It was a good one. It's a good one. And my half PPR Dynasty League is still undefeated.
Nice.
So that feels good. We're the last undefeated standing.
Yeah, it's hard to go 5-0, man.
Yeah. And it's a weird season. Like I
Yes.
feel like it's gonna just like it's gonna be like this meteoric run during the regular season. I'm just gonna crash and burn the playoffs somehow. I don't know how yet. But my team is 5-0, most points scored, fewest points against. So we're just blowing people out every week.
Gotta love that or that luck factor, you know.
Yeah, it's I mean, hopefully it continues.
Yeah. Sometimes it works against you. Sometimes it works for you. Love the ride.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
it.
Derrick Henry. Go, Derrick Henry, go.
Yeah, especially today. I've got a lot of Derrick Henry today.
I'm in on him too.
Yeah.
I think it's him and Lamar both. I think that's where I'm at.
One or the other is going to have a fantastic day.
How about we start our Homer Minute? You want to start us off, Ray, since you've been quiet over there?
Yeah, sure. I think.
I picked you guys to win, and you
Yeah,
didn't.
I know. 33%.
Let me down.
33% done, right, after this week of the season. So it's like Rams traditionally, it's becoming a tradition now, struggling over that red zone. Although we managed to get in a few times, we've lost a lot of matches because we had to just go down there and kick a field goal. And it's like, got to get that fixed. It looks like McVay may have fixed his timeout issue, so at least that's one thing.
What makes you say that?
He had all three of them when he went to the closing drive.
There you go.
You know, so
That never happens.
it never happens. Not for him, no. So we'll see what's going on with that this week. I think is our bye this week.
You're on bye.
Yeah, so
you guys
I
are
don't got
on
much
bye.
to say about.
So teams on bye are Kansas City, LA, Miami, and who else is off this week? We got one more. Nobody? No.
I can't help you there.
Nobody.
I don't know. So yeah.
There's nobody in the crowd's gonna help me out. Come on.
Oh, you know what? I need to pull that chat up. Let me see here. What up? What a busy.
Hey, what up, Bezzy?
He got the W over Brian. Dang.
Nice.
Yeah,
I was
like
watching
said,
that
it
one
was
too
not
on
a
Monday
good
night.
football
Like
week.
that one came down to the wire too. You needed like one more Kamara catch or something, right?
Yes.
Was that close?
Yes.
Yeah. I knew we both lost by a very small amount this week. It was
Yeah, I think-
it's fantasy football, baby.
I think it was 1.5, and I had a long time to get it, and it just did not come.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I just needed the Chiefs to score one more touchdown.
So yeah, that's my homer minute. When do you guys want to jump in?
Should we go happy or sad?
Yeah, we'll stay with sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a rough week. I think we win that game if Herbig stays healthy. I think a big part was you guys were able to triple team Watt, basically. You got a chip on him and then double team him as he came in. And normally teams can't get away with that because we've got Highsmith on the other side wreaking havoc. He's out. Herbig comes in and is like a very adequate replacement. And he's doing a great job. He's getting pressure. I think he had 1 sack and then he got hurt, went down. And I don't think we got pressure on you guys after that, like at all. And that's what our team relies on. And it showed. And our defense just wasn't what it's supposed to be because we couldn't get the pressure on the quarterback. And
yeah, but
and we
I
got
didn't
the
think you
loss
guys
for it.
had a great night, stopping the Cowboys, before he left the game. You got, there were 2 red zone turnovers. So the Cowboys moved the ball. They just, Dak had a couple of bad turnovers early in the game. Then you guys also blocked a field goal. You won the turnover battle by 3. Historically, teams that win the turnover battle by 3 or more are 91% to win the game. And that doesn't even include the blocked field goal too. There's not you guys had to have been a 95% chance to win that game, somewhere in the third quarter when that block happened. Was that block at the beginning of the 4th?
Nah, I can't remember.
I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was crazy too. Because he was going to miss that either way. Even if he hadn't blocked it, he was going to miss it. So that was a gift to fantasy owners who have the Pittsburgh defense. But the part that was the biggest takeaway to me, so I've been on the other side of people saying that Rico Dowdle was stealing the job from Zeke, and I still think there might be something wrong there. They're just not talking about it. Zeke's not on the injury report because it's not serious enough. But
according to Jerry, they're saving.
Yeah,
for later in the season,
that's right.
you know what I mean?
Oh my god, I wish he wouldn't say shit like that. But
he's our big stud. We got to save him.
Dowdle had a great game, and the Cowboys up front had a great game against a really solid defense. They were able to move the ball on the ground all night long, and I didn't think that people gave them enough credit for that, because obviously Dak at the end was great, but Dak was also the reason that we didn't win by 20. So he better fucking show up in the last couple of minutes. But the offensive line was great. Even with we lost Guyton in the middle of the game, but he should be okay. I was surprised. Obviously I picked him to win because I'm gonna do that. But watching the whole game, I think I was standing watching the whole game, and I just kept expecting the Steelers to do something, because they didn't really do anything on offense.
I was definitely thinking most of the game, I wonder what Russell would do. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder what. I
And
wonder
thoughts
how
like
this would be
that
going.
are why I dropped Justin Fields this week.
Yeah. No. Russ is gonna. If Justin better play real well today, or else Russell's starting next week.
I agree.
That's the case for
100%
sure.
agree.
So.
All right, so those are the Homer Minutes. Go Cowboys. And Brian, why do you have that hat on? And why is it backwards?
Because
Why
of
is it
one lucky
backwards?
catch.
Why is it backwards?
Is it really? Great.
There you go.
There.
That's handsome. Yep. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
I feel like I was right for 99% of that game. But
I don't know. Like, if you there's
My
multiple
premise
ways,
was correct.
There's multiple ways to look at it, and like garbage time is where a lot of fantasy points are scored. We know that. We all know that. We talk about starting receivers because they're going to be in a negative game script, and we expect their team to be passing. So, like
it's kind of a fallacy, as I recall. By the way,
huh?
It's actually more of a fallacy
For
as I recall.
quarterbacks. I don't think it's for the other. I don't think it's for like receivers and stuff like that. I think it's for quarterbacks. It is like the quarterbacks end up not having more points because they end up having as many turnovers and things like that. I think, but I don't think there's like definitive evidence on that. I know what you're talking about. I remember that, but I don't remember it also that particular source just kind of says things sometimes that aren't true. Gets debunked on that. That person gets debunked live all the time.
I don't recall that, but go ahead.
Anyway, let's get started.
Okay, so first up, let me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Last thing, Minnesota Vikings are the fourth team on bye. So you've got the Vikings, Chiefs, Rams, and Dolphins who are not available this week.
So there will still be an undefeated team next week, for
Yes, there
sure.
will. Those Dolphins cannot pop the champagne, and as old as they are, they got to survive another week.
Yeah, they are starting to drop off.
There's not very many of them left.
No.
Give me a second. Let me find my spot here. Browns and Eagles are first up. Let me see.
All right. Go Browns.
Almost there.
Woo!
They are so disappointing this year. Wow. I mean,
Deshaun Watson is so
exactly.
disappointing.
Deshaun Watson.
It's not
man.
necessarily the rest of the Browns that have been disappointing because, like, I've seen Amari Cooper open. Amari Cooper, maybe, because he's had a couple of drops.
And that defense was supposed to be a little bit better than what it's been.
Yeah,
But, I mean, Deshaun Watson is far and away the worst problem. Like, what the hell?
The meme I kept seeing about him this week was lawsuits settled since joining Cleveland, 24. Passing touchdowns since joining Cleveland, 19.
Oh, my goodness. That's funny.
So, it is, the Browns versus the Eagles. The Browns are +8. Over-under is 41.5. +330 on the Browns, -425. Last time they met was in 2020. Nick Chubb rushed for over 100 yards, and they won the game. But historically, the Eagles have the edge over the Browns.
These are two old-time football teams. Like, been playing each other since, like, the 30s. Something like that.
Right.
So, yeah, this was the hottest defense to pick up of the week was Philadelphia. I think the Philadelphia defense was the most added fantasy football asset of the week.
And that's because Watson takes 100 sacks every game. So
Yep, sure does. And the Eagles had the week off. Are they at home? The Eagles are at home.
Yeah, and they're favored by 8. You know.
Yeah, this is all the markers are there.
Yeah, kind of tells you everything you need to know. Yeah. Do you start Jerome Ford? I mean, that's a question a lot of people have.
I'm trying not.
Not to,
I would rather start, like we were talking about helping him pick somebody up earlier. I would rather start Tyjae Spears or Justice Hill.
I started Bucky Irving over him, but I think that's a.
I don't think that's an industry standard though. because Rashad White's not going to play, I don't think.
Yeah. Bucky Irving is actually turning into a really nice play.
Keenan Allen just scored another touchdown, so that helps my fantasy a little bit.
Me too. High fives.
Yes.
All around.
Take that, Cam.
Still got 41% chance to win, but
I think just this game, just the performance by Caleb Williams has taken me from a 15-point dog to like a 5-point favorite.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you for making me right, baby.
What's the score on that
you know what?
game, real quick?
And I apologize. I'll do that on camera. I apologize. I said this to you earlier this morning. He's really impressed me the first few weeks. He's playing so much better, such better football, like in the NFL these first 5 weeks than he played all of last year. It's impressive. It's really impressive.
Okay.
So good job, man. That's awesome.
Ken
Thank
and
you.
Brian-
Keep going. I got you in half PPR Dynasty too. Let's go.
as far as pick'em scores go, Ken and Brian tied at 6 last week.
6?
6?
6?
Oh my God.
I didn't think it
That's
was
horrible.
that bad.
How many did you get?
4.
Oh, Bessie had 3?
Are you still the overall leader?
Wow.
No, Brian, you got me by 1 right now.
Oh wow. And I've been horrible this year.
I've been so bad. I'm behind by like 6 or something like that. It's terrible. We're gonna do better today though.
I can't see.
Because I actually did watch football last week. I I haven't been able to watch football at all. So I've been like trying to catch up as much as I can by watching back, and it doesn't work. Like highlights don't work. You got to watch the games. You have to watch the games to see what's going on and like why certain people are going to play more than others.
It looks like Jacksonville just fumbled the ball too.
Good.
It looks like Bears might have got it.
That game might be over.
They got a whole quarter left to give us fantasy points.
But in the Philly-Cleveland game,
Jacksonville recovered.
I really like Philly here. I mean, obviously everything points in that direction. Cleveland is floundering. They have no idea what's going on. So, of course, the way the NFL is going this year, Cleveland will somehow pull out the victory just to make us wrong. But,
I know, right?
But I'll take
It
Philly.
feels that way.
It really does.
Yeah, and you know I hate doing this. I'm gonna pick the Eagles. You know I hate that. You know I hate that. So if I am wrong about picking the Eagles here, I am gonna be unhappy.
That's a special kind of
And that will feel awful to have the Eagles lose and me be unhappy. Don't let it happen. So both Eagles receivers are back. Like,
right.
This just lines up. So temper expectations, around Dallas Goedert. I hope you sold high.
Yeah.
So Busy wants to know if he should start Ford or Iosovius.
Yoshibas. I would rather. Oof, man. I would rather
Ford there.
do neither of those things and go to our waiver wire where you can find Tajay Spears and Justice Hill. Those are both better decisions than the one you're making. And actually, there's a really good one. I'm gonna help you out, Bezzy.
Jerome Ford. Why are you so down on Jerome Ford?
Because he's playing because of the game script they're in today. Like the Eagles' defense is pretty good against the run, to begin with. They're weak against the pass. And they're going to be down.
But he's going to get 16 plus touches.
Is he?
Does he not catch the ball at all?
Well, Watson's one of those quarterbacks that's really bad about finding his running backs.
Yeah, that's true.
And what is the deal with him just walking off the field?
I'm sorry, Bezzy. I would rather play Jalen Polk than Andre Yosifas today.
The Yoshibas, yes. I think I'd stick with Ford if you're
Jalen
talking your
Polk played
flex.
100% of the snaps last week. He played like 90% the week before that, and see, this is the thing about getting to watch some of the games. It didn't go down as a catch, so it didn't show up on any highlight reel anywhere. But he made, and I don't know why they didn't challenge it, but he made the most fucking incredible catch against the 49ers a couple weeks ago.
Right.
It was amazing. It was a great throw by Brissett, and there were 2 defenders, and he dragged his toes, got hit while he was being knocked out of bounds, and held on to the ball. And I was like, that's not easy to do.
But here's the thing. I mean, Drake May could come in and throw for 96 yards on his first game.
I don't think that's that likely against Houston. I just don't.
Nobody thought that was likely with Caleb Williams in his first game, and he threw for under 100 yards.
I did think that was likely with Caleb Williams.
So why is it? Why Drake May? Why is he
Drake
so
May?
much?
I thought Drake May was a more polished pocket passer than Caleb Williams. I thought he was more NFL ready than Caleb Williams was. I didn't think Caleb Williams was going to be able to just like turn it on and go into basically game manager mode when he has to. Like, he's been unbelievable. The way that he is playing these first few weeks versus the way that he ran his offense in college, that was just some backyard football. I just really didn't think it was going to be able to translate, and I didn't think that he had the same arm strength that a person like Mahomes has to get away with it. Time will tell. But anyway, I like Drake May. I think they're going to throw the ball more. I think they're going to throw it to Jalen Polk. I like Jalen Polk. I like him to get 6-7 targets today at the minimum. And we're talking about a flex start. Sorry, this is taking so long, but that's what you want. And so I think he has, like, while he could give you 3 points, so could the other guys we're talking about right now. Any one of these guys could goose you. Like, if you want, like, the most solid start, in my opinion, get Spears. Just get Tajay Spears and don't think about it. It's not going to be spectacular, but you're going to end up with, like, somewhere between 8 and 12 points. That's going to happen with Tajay Spears. He's going to have 2 or 3 catches. He's going to have about 30 yards on the ground, and he might score.
If it was me, I'd stick with Ford. I think he's going to get enough touches today that he might fall in the end zone. Who knows?
He's been so bad. Here, let me.
Volume is key here, and with the names that we're throwing out there, to me,
so
Ford is the safest. But if you're going for like a real ceiling play, if you're really trying to go hit a home run, yeah, do not start Ford. But if you just want like a baseline 10 points,
it's a flex play.
I'd take Ford. You know, it depends on what you want. But I think you're discounting Ford.
Yeah, if you want 6 points, play Ford.
Sounds like a bet somewhere happening right here.
It sounds like the Spears versus...
I will not bet on Ford.
Come on, I'm taking Tajay Spears. I'm taking a backup running back versus your starting running back, and you don't want to do it. Bezzy, that tells you everything you need to know. Play Spears.
So Swift just scored a touchdown.
Make your call, brother.
All right, so moving on. Houston,
but actually, if you want a big play, if you want ceiling, you play Polk.
Texans versus the Patriots. Texans are -6.5. Over-unders at 41.5 plus 330. Last time these two teams met was in 2021. The Patriots beat them 25-22, so barely. And it was a game. It was a comeback win.
Now, I mean, on the surface here, Houston's the better team, and they are. And Houston's 4-1. They've been pulling out victories. But I tell you what, they haven't been convincing victories. They've all been kind of like, oops, I found a way to win at the end, which is great. You want those kind of victories, but they're not having the blowouts. They're not showing that they're one of the best teams in the NFL right now. And they lost Nico Collins, who is the number one, at least fantasy, wide receiver going into the last week. The guy's a freaking stud. Now, we saw Stroud last year have some success without different receivers. It seemed like whoever came in, they had success with. So can he do that again this year? That's the question. And so while I'm definitely taking Houston, I like Houston here. I'm a little bit worried. It doesn't feel great, you know what I mean? But I'm taking Houston. Any thoughts?
I'm taking
Patriots
Houston.
at home, baby. Drake May, get him.
You think it's the upsets happening? Wow.
I do. The Nico Collins, they were night and day different when he left the field. They do not have somebody to threaten, certain areas of the field without him. They just don't. They're going to plug in Xavier Hutchinson, which is another interesting start. He's going to get targets. They're going to try and replace. They're going to do the best to replace Nico with him, because Diggs doesn't run those routes anymore. That's not where he's good anymore. He's been in the slot like half the time. And Dell, we love Dell,
but he has his role as well.
Exactly. And you need Nico to make those chunk plays.
So basically, it just means that the Nico Collins role is going to be reduced in the offense for a while.
Yes.
And they're going to emphasize
and
the
they're
other
gonna,
two.
and I think they're going when they need those plays. They're gonna try and go to Hutchinson. I think is what's going to happen, and that's going to be the linchpin of the game is going to be whether or not he's successful. If you're watching the game and Hutchinson is involved early and doing well and they're moving the ball through him, Houston will win this game. They're going to have Mixon back today, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes.
And they will have enough to get it done if they're able to overcome that loss, because they almost lost to Buffalo in a game where Josh Allen completed like 25% of his passes and I think less than 120 yards or something like that, and they almost lost that game because they could not move the football in the second half. So yeah, I'm a little worried, and I think New England's defense is a fine start today. So yeah, on their side, we're getting a new quarterback. Drake May is going to make his first start today. I was just talking about Jalen Polk. I was a fan of his in the draft process. He's the other receiver from Washington. He's got some dog in him. I like him a lot. I think he is exactly the type of receiver that New England fans like. So I'm hoping, that he has some success. And then no Ramondre today. So
Right.
Antonio Gibson is a really good start. And then other than that,
I don't know about it. I don't know. I still wouldn't want to start.
he catches
Gibson.
the ball too. I would start him.
Yeah.
I would start him. If I had Antonio Gibson, I'm starting him over guys like I would start him over Rico Dowdle.
See, what I'm getting from all this conversation is that you are way higher on the Patriots than I am.
I like the Patriots.
That's obvious.
I do. Actually, I think they're much better than their record says they are. They've been, even in that Niners game where they lost, I think by 2 touchdowns at the end of it or something like that, they were in the game. There were a couple of questionable calls, including that catch non-catch from Polk on the sideline that I thought if had gone their way, and they also fumbled the ball in the red zone at the end of the game. But they were threatening the 49ers in that game for quite a while. In a game, we thought could end up like 41-10 or something like that. And I think the final score was like 30-13. But at one point it was 20-13 with the Patriots moving the ball inside the 49ers 25-yard line. And that's the kind of thing that doesn't show up, on the box score. I do. I think they're going to win this game.
All right. I have a lot less faith in the rookie than you do.
As long as he doesn't mess up. And being a Boston sports fan, I've seen a lot of him. And the city's embraced him. They're ready for him. He hasn't been making noise. You haven't heard anything from him. There's not any hype going on. And I think that is also, all that stuff is positive. So I'm excited for him. I like Drake May a lot.
Right.
Next up, we got Washington Commanders versus the Baltimore Ravens. Washington Commanders plus 6.5. Over-under is 51. Excuse me. Over-under is 51.5. Plus 230 is the money line. The minus 285 if you're betting on the Ravens. And the last time these two teams met was in 2021, where the Ravens won 37-3.
God, I want to pick the Commanders so bad. I want them to win. I want them to be good. It just feels like this is the week they fall apart. But I want them to succeed, please.
Why?
Well, first, I want the Ravens to lose.
Yes, there you go. There it is.
And second, I want to see that Washington offense do something. I like the Jaden Daniels, McLaurin. I like what's happening over there. I think Eckler is going to be fun today.
Oh yeah, I'm in on that.
Yeah, Brian Robinson, is he hurt or is he out? Out. So he's out. So Eckler's your main running back. And if you haven't been paying attention, Eckler looks good. Like he looks like
No,
last year he was hurt,
okay.
and that's why he played like
I
that.
have been watching, and he has busted loose on a couple of plays, but he does not look fast. Okay, he is a savvy running back. I
think that's the perfect word for him.
But
savvy.
do you remember Brian Mitchell?
No.
He was a running back, kick returner he played for the Redskins. Then he played when they were the Redskins. I'm not dead naming, and then he played for the Eagles. But he was a kick return specialist, and he would also be like your third down running back. And he was as he got older, he stayed in the league for a long time because he was just good and he knew how to set guys up. He knew how to set up his blocks. He knew how to make guys miss, but he wasn't running away from anybody. And it's funny because Eckler wearing number 30 is the same number as Mitchell. So it really it gives me flashbacks from being a kid and watching Brian Mitchell, show up every few plays and do something cool, but not anything that's like game breaking or really that memorable. That's Austin Eckler at this point. He's just not going to run away from anybody. So
he's not going to have the 80-yard runs.
And I also don't think he's going to get the goal line carries. They have another guy for that, and also they've got Jaden Daniels. So
if you're out there,
it's not going to be like a 25, 30 point performance, but 15 to 20, yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, and anyone will take 15 to 20 out of Eckler today, that's for sure.
Oh,
but,
for sure.
I don't know. I feel like he has the potential for a little more there, but we'll see. We'll see. That is where you can hurt the Ravens is in the air. So,
yes.
This is, I don't know. It's got the possibilities. If Jaden Daniels is the product that they've been selling us for the last couple of weeks, if he's really that good, then this could be a really fun game that the Commanders actually pull out. It's obviously what I'm hoping for, but if you're asking me what I bet on, give me Baltimore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but
and you know what? The Commanders could make us look dumb again.
I hope they do on this one.
This will be like the fourth time I think this season already. I'm pretty sure we both picked them to lose to the Giants. No, you picked them to win. You did pick them to win that game, but we both picked them to lose to Cincinnati. We both picked them to lose to Cleveland, and they were awesome in those games.
Yeah.
So, but not this week. You're losing this week for sure.
For sure.
All right.
What you got working up over there, Ray?
What you doing, Ray? What you doing, Ray?
This is that league that I wasn't paying attention to because there's no money on the line.
Oh, uh-huh.
And I was just curiously looking at it, and I thought it read by, but I didn't. But anyway, I was just looking at it just to kind of see. It's on Yahoo and it's confusing. It looks like I have two teams. I don't know, I don't get it sometimes, Yahoo. I've been trying to get it on the app because the app's a little bit more readable than doing it on the webpage. But it doesn't let me log in. I'll put it in there and it'll go, we'll send you the two-factor authentication for Yahoo is broken.
Oh.
So they send you the text code or the email code and it just never comes. So I cannot log in on the app. So that's what I was doing. I was just looking at that, and I named my team Fumble in the Jungle for some reason.
Fumble in the Jungle? That's funny.
I don't know why.
That's good.
But anyway, so are we moving on to the next game?
Yes,
Who
sir.
do y'all pick? Do we all go Ravens?
We all went Ravens.
Okay.
What Bezzy picked?
Bezzy picked the Ravens as well.
Yeah.
So
And then I lone wolfed on the Patriots.
yes, she did.
Duh. Nobody else.
Lone
is
pup.
taking the Patriots.
The lone pup on the Patriots.
Next up, the Cardinals versus the
They're at
Packers.
home, dude.
Yeah. Cardinals versus the Packers, plus 5.5 on the Cardinals. Over under is 47. Plus 195 if you're betting on the Cardinals. Minus 238 if you're betting on the Packers. Let's see. Last time these two teams met was in 2021, and the Packers won 24-21. So.
When was the last time they met?
2021.
Yeah, that was Aaron Rodgers. So this is Jordan Love's first crack at the Cardinal, the Desert Bird.
This is another
They're
game I
home.
just don't want to pick, man.
So this is what I don't think the Cardinals play well. in these types of scenarios. So for me, this is an easy pick, the Packers.
Yeah, I mean everything points to the Packers. I just have this feeling like the Cardinals are better than what they've been playing.
I don't think so. I think they're worse.
And there you go. We'll find out this week. I am going to take the Packers. I think that's smart.
Okay.
Go ahead. Oh
No, like I thought you were gonna go Cardinals.
no,
The Cardinals
like I say, I have a
belong to
feeling
me.
I
The
kinda
Cardinals
want to,
belong
but
picking in the top five.
I don't bet on feelings.
I like the Patriots more than I like the Cardinals. What I've seen from both teams, the Patriots play more solid football than the Cardinals do.
Ooh, what are their records right now? Can we have a season-long bet on that?
They might be similar. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let me look that
I'll
up.
take that for sure.
So you said Watson was in. Any other injury news for this game?
Let's see. I don't think so. Cardinals, Green Bay. Basically, everybody's back. Watson is playing today.
Trevor Lawrence out there trying to make garbage points, but Kirk can't hold on to the ball. That went right into his chest.
Oh,
So the Cardinals are 2-3, and the Patriots are 1-4. And the Cardinals already stole a victory from San Francisco. They should be 1-4 too. The 49ers were up 20 points in that game and lost. The 49ers have lost twice after being up 20.
I know. How crazy
And then
is
once, I think, to the Rams being up 17.
that? Was a
I thought
fun
they were
game.
up 20 in that game
Maybe
too.
maybe it was 20.
I
think
think
it
that was
was.
the one. They were up 20, and they were both divisional opponents. Who scored?
Davis.
Who? Davis? Davis?
Is it garbage
Davis?
time?
It is.
It is.
And it was
It
just
is.
a throw to the flat? No, it was up the.
That, yeah. Yeah, that helps no one.
Right.
There's nobody
no-
starting Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence, yeah.
No one's starting Trevor Lawrence. That helps nobody. That touchdown helped nobody.
It helped whoever
'cause
was playing
it
against
hurt
Chicago's defense.
It hurt anybody playing the Bears defense.
So next up, we got the Bucks versus the Saints. Let's see here. Bucks are -3.5. 42.5 is the over/under. -175 if you're betting on the Bucks. +145 if you're betting on the Saints. The last time these two teams met, 2023, because they are rivals, right? They're in the same division,
twice
and the
a year.
Bucks won 17-16.
Well, let me start real quick because I want you to talk about your boy. You know what I mean?
Laser Mayfield,
No, your other boy.
Mother boy.
Your snake, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, dude.
The Rattler.
I'm not calling him that. We're not going there with the snake.
He's your boy.
He is.
I'm
He
just saying.
certainly is.
So on the
I can't
Tampa
even
side,
believe you sent me that trade offer this week. I laughed. I just started laughing. I saw it. He knows better than that. He knows that's not going to work.
little troll for you. You know.
He didn't even like. Even if you had offered me a first, it would have got rejected.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure it got rejected. I didn't want it to
that's
succeed.
funny.
So
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Okay, that makes sense then. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if you were actually like trying to get him or
it's completely just
'cause
trolling you, dude.
Because you offered me a third or a fourth or something like
A
that.
fifth.
It was a fifth. Oh my god.
I ordered you a fifth. I offered you a fifth and Ray McLeod.
Yeah, Ray McLeod. That's right. That's fun. Yeah, that was good. No, I'm. Anybody
sorry.
who has listened to us before, has been listening to us, knows that to me, Spencer Rattler was the steal of the draft.
Right.
Like he was the pick to make. If you were in the market for a quarterback this year, in my opinion, waiting on Spencer Rattler was the move to make. Like I had said somewhere, if I had been a GM, I would have been planning on taking him in round 3.
Right. And he ended up going in the fifth.
Fourth.
So
No,
fifth
fifth.
is,
No, it is
fifth
fifth.
is what
It
I've
is
been
fifth.
hearing
It
all
is
week.
fifth,
Yeah.
right. I think it's the beginning of the 5th.
I agree.
But,
yeah, it was. Yeah, so it makes him a long shot, but he's a long shot that Ken here has a lot of confidence in, and so I'm really anxious to see him play. I think it's going to be fun.
He
But
reminds me of
start all
Dak.
your Buccaneers, including the defense.
He reminds me of Dak. The intangibles. And I know that it's funny because that was what hurt him, but it's good that it happened to him in college and not in the NFL. Because some people don't get that wake up call in time. And I feel like he did. And I remember the thing that I noticed the most watching him play was how hard people played around him. It was, I think I said this, it was the most NFL-like any of the offenses that I watched last year on tape looked, because of the effort that was given by all of the pass catchers. Like when you're watching other teams, like breaking down tape for receivers and quarterbacks and stuff like that, there were a lot of, it was obvious he was getting the ball on that play. Look at the other guys as they ran their routes and didn't run real routes. It was one of the reasons that I liked Adonai Mitchell, because I felt like he ran, like even if he knew he wasn't getting the ball, he was still trying to practice running a route at real speed. And it's something that just doesn't happen anymore in college. You can see it. Like you can see guys know they're not getting the ball and not trying the way that they should be. But his offense, it really felt like do your job, get open, and Spencer will find you. And another thing I had said was like he was the quarterback for Xavier Legette. And it was when I was watching Legette, and I watched the tape for him first, it was frustrating him not getting the ball more, because I felt like he was open more than he was getting the ball in college. And it's like an alpha receiver like that typically gets over-targeted, not under-targeted. And when I watched it from the perspective of watching Rattler, I was like, oh, he's just finding the open guy. And then I watched him twice, and you watch all the pieces around. I was like, wow, this looks good. This is how quarterbacks and offenses are supposed to look at the next level, in terms of their aggressiveness and his ability to not focus in on one receiver. So while he did say to bring this back around, while he did say the things that he said this week about Olave and like I got to find that guy and give him the ball, I don't think he's going to over target Olave. I think he's going to be good. I think that he's like, whether they win today or not, and I think this can be the first road team I picked to win, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did win, because he is that kind of player. He can make plays with his legs, and I think that's going to happen today at some point. He's going to make some play where you go, oh, Derek Carr couldn't make that play. And that's the difference. And he's bigger than people give him credit for. I think he's like 6'1", 215. He put on like 10 pounds in between the end of the season last year and the start of the season. So
would you start Olave today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
with confidence?
If I'm in a and I have him in a 2-receiver league, and I'm not starting him there. But that's more a case of I have 3 great running backs, and I have to start one of my flex. Like I have Breece Hall, I'd have to go look at that. I think I have Tracy. I think I'm starting Tyrone Tracy over him in the flex, because he's getting all the work and he's playing against a bad defense
in a
at
similar
home.
situation, I'm starting Bucky Irving.
And I would do that too.
Yeah.
I would do that too. But it's close, and like I could definitely be wrong.
Right.
Olave could have a monster day today.
Very interesting. Well,
So is everybody Bucks? What's going on with this?
I think we're all taking Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Ken
all
has some
that
hope
talking
in
about,
the
the
Saints.
Saints. And like I wouldn't worry about Alvin Kamara if I were you.
I felt like Kamara would have a good day today.
I think he's going to
rely
be
on him.
just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Colts plus 2.5. Over-unders 42.5. Plus 114 if you're betting on the Colts, and minus 135 if you're betting on the Titans. And they played last year. Titans won 24-17 with Derrick Henry rushing for over 100 yards.
Did somebody get hurt? Or are they on a timeout?
I don't know. But if it's 4th and 3, what are you doing? You're already up 35-16. Like,
Are they going for it?
that's what I'm like. What are you doing?
It looks like they're going for it.
That's messed up. It does look like they're going for it.
Yeah, they are. And they're on the plus side of the field. They could just kick a field goal.
Yeah.
I guess you're kind of in no man's land. You know, if you don't trust your kicker to knock in a 53-yarder.
And who'd they go to right there for that? Allen? Was that Allen? 13? Who's 13?
Yeah, it's Allen. 13 is
okay.
Allen.
That's what I thought.
Got to have it, Keenan Allen.
Give me some more points. Fuck it. All right. So what do you guys think here? Colts and Titans. We got 7 more games to go through, and it's 9:15.
Today is Will Levis Day.
I do like the Titans today. They're at home, and Indy is just floundering.
They've just not, and they've not played as well with Richardson at quarterback,
absolutely not,
as they did with Flacco.
And they've got some injuries today, so yeah, give me the Titans, please. Ken, who you got?
I'm going to take the Titans too. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game because Tennessee's defense is better, but they haven't been as good against the run as they are against the pass, and I think the Colts are going to lean more on their rushing attack today. So even without
I was going to say they don't have their
they don't have Jonathan Taylor, but Trey Sermon
horse.
is going to get the load, and they're going to have to start Richardson. So
is he going to get the load, or is it going to be more of a?
There's no Pittman either, which is another reason.
Right.
I like the Titans today in this game.
Yeah, Indy looks like they're in trouble today.
Yeah.
Unless Richardson.
People have
can
been
just put
talking
everything else
about
back.
Alec Pierce getting more playing time with Pittman going down. I really think it's going to be Adonai Mitchell. And they've been doing a lot of stuff with him. They've asked him to run reverses. He had passing yards last week.
But if Richardson's only going to throw for 150 yards, then who cares?
I agree. I agree. I'm not starting any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to start any Colts today. 0.
All right.
I want to start
agree
maybe
with
Josh
that. Move
Downs because
on.
he has a connection with Josh Downs. Like if you're in a tough spot, I could see starting Downs in a flex. And that's it on that side. On the other side, Tony Pollard.
I'd go pick up Polk.
Tony Pollard should have a great. I'll take Downs over Polk.
Dude, Polk's your guy. That is not something I want to bet on.
So, Pollard should have a great game. I think this is the game for Levis. This is like, everything's lined up for you, dude. Like you had the week off. You got a really bad defense coming to your town, and they are underpowered on offense. You're gonna be in the game. Come on, dude. Let's do it. Come on, Levis.
Now or never.
Let's have a big game. Let's do it.
All right. So next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Raiders.
Classic matchups.
Steelers are -3. Over under is 36.5. -175 if you're going for the Steelers. +145 if you're going for the Raiders. Let's see. They did meet last year. Steelers won a close game, 23-18.
And I will say that we should crush them here. I mean,
The Raiders are a dumpster fire.
Absolutely. We should absolutely crush. The only stipulation here is the Steelers do not play the Raiders well on this coast. For some reason, or maybe it's just whenever I go see the game, because whenever we play the Raiders on this coast, Raiders are at home. They always find a way to win. They could have a 2-15 season, but one of those wins will be against us because we had to travel to this coast. It's very strange. So, I mean, that superstition right there, whatever you want to call it, that makes me hesitate a little bit. But, of course, I'm taking my Steelers, and we should crush.
Well, you guys are getting to avoid Gardner Minshew today.
Ooh.
It's going to be Aiden O'Connell instead.
Oh, wow.
And apparently, Aiden O'Connell has a big fan in the clubhouse who might just take himself off of the trade block.
Oh, Adams?
Have you seen that report?
No,
He
no.
might stay now.
Because O'Connell's...
He likes O'Connell, apparently.
Huh.
And because the Raiders' asking price is a second.
I was going to say, and
more.
because he can't get a deal right
and,
now. So.
and people aren't just like, and it's funny because the Steelers are one of the teams that's interested in bringing him in.
Yeah. Pickens, I going into this year, I felt like, I don't know if Pickens is like a
What was
number
that thing at
one
the end of the game?
wide receiver. I can't remember what you're referring to.
He grabbed Jordan Lewis by the face mask at the end of the game. Like on that last play, that fourth down play, they lateraled, or not. I don't think it was fourth down. I think it was just out of time. They lateraled, and when the Cowboys finally picked up the ball and got down, and Jordan Lewis, like, he was running off to celebrate, and I think he said something to Pickens as he ran by him, and Pickens just reached up and grabbed his face mask.
No, I didn't even see that.
It's like bonehead stuff like that is just like.
Yeah, I think Pickens will be a strong number 2 for us. Like I say,
number 2, I agree.
I think that's what he is.
And you say strong number 2, I think he's like, it's going to be kind of a roller coaster ride. I think you're going to have like stretches where he's just awesome and you feel like he's the number 1. And then you're going to have stretches where it's like, where'd he go?
Yeah.
What happened?
And like you said, he's a bit of a knucklehead.
Yeah,
and
he seems to be a knucklehead.
You know, it's not a great combo. I don't think
it did not work out for Claypool.
Yeah, he's just not the long-term solution for us. So
it's interesting because it seems like the Steelers take guys like this, because this is what Antonio Brown was, you know,
right.
And Mike Wallace before him, and Plaxico Burress before him. You know,
they all have their issues. We figure we can manage it, and
you did. That's the thing, but it's
for as long
not
as
been
we
as
can.
successful lately, which is interesting. I think.
I don't know. I think we still. Well, Deontay Johnson is doing well, and he hasn't collapsed or anything yet.
But he's also not the same. Deontay Johnson is like closer to like a Hines Ward than he is, you know, a Burris or a Mike Wallace or a Antonio Brown type.
Antonio Brown's the only true superstar there, but sorry, we
Burris was a superstar.
We got a lot of picks to make here.
Plaxico Burress was a superstar.
No, he was not.
Absolutely,
never
he was.
ever.
Yes, he was. You're crazy.
No, dude,
right.
You're talking to a Steeler fan. He was not a stud.
He didn't do it in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I'm pretty sure he has an All-Pro. That's a star. You make an All-Pro, you're a star. All-Pro, not Pro Bowl.
Oh, okay.
All-Pro.
Isn't Hunt
only 2 guys? Only 2 guys each year get named All-Pro at receiver. There's only 1 from each position, and you have 2. So, like, there's 2 starting receivers. There's 1 tight end. There's 1 guy at each offensive line position. 1.
I hear you. But I'll take the Steelers here.
Ken?
I am also going to take the Steelers. I am.
Steelers across the board, then.
No, he didn't have an All-Pro.
Okay.
Next up is Chargers versus Broncos. Chargers -3, over/under is 35.5. -148 if you're betting on the Chargers, +124 if you're betting on the Broncos. Let me see here. Yep, they met in 2023. Chargers defeated the Broncos 31-28. Which I think they may. Well, Broncos had a good game this last game.
This is not going to be a fun game to watch.
No. This is 13-10, 13-6, 16.
The winner is the team that returns a punt for a touchdown.
Right. Very defensive game here. I trust the Chargers a little bit more, but that Denver defense has been looking amazing. So it's really a toss-up game here. I'll take the Chargers on a 51-49 kind of coin flip game.
I'm going to take Denver because they're in Denver.
That's fair.
I put Steelers there instead of Ken. That's hilarious. Okay.
That is pretty funny.
All right. What did Bezzy go? Bezzy goes Steelers.
I get the lone wolf.
Yeah. Looks that way.
Is he going to pick the Chargers?
I have no idea.
We don't know.
We'll see what he does.
We don't know. There's nothing exciting about this game, fantasy football-wise. Nothing.
No.
Javonte Williams is lukewarm feelings. Like, you're starting him as a flex or a number 2. You can start him as a number 2. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
But you're not excited.
Yeah.
If you have him in Dynasty, you're just like, oh, thank God. Thank God I don't have to cut him.
Yeah. and it's funny because I do. But J.K. Dobbins, I think, is kind of in the similar situation. You kind of have to start him this week, but you're not excited. At least he is getting all the work because he's alone in the backfield at least.
The rookie that everybody was excited about during training camp, Vidal, is going to be active today and serving as the backup because Gus Edwards, the Gus Bus, is out. So that's interesting. that would be the most interesting thing is if, poor Dobbins got hurt again and all of a sudden Vidal was the lead running back in LA. That would be interesting for the waiver wire this week, but hopefully nothing happens to Dobbins other than him scoring very, very few fantasy points. I would love to see that happen today because I don't have him anywhere.
I don't either.
So
I
it's only dangerous for me if he scores fantasy points. But
thanks for taking him, Cam.
Yeah. Worst trade ever. That trade was so bad. Like I looked back at it and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, how did Thomas do today anyway?
I saw that they just missed him on an end zone target.
Only 5.5 points today.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ooh. And you're playing against Slim this week. That's rough.
Yeah,
but you know what? DJ
points.
Moore didn't do anything. The Bears scored 35 points and DJ Moore did nothing.
Yeah. Brian Thomas and DJ Moore basically scored the same.
Yeah. They washed each other out for sure.
Next up, I guess we'll go with the Falcons versus the Panthers. Falcons were they just shuffled the games around on me.
Now this game I am a little excited about for fantasy.
Yeah.
Falcons -6, over/under is 46, -250 if you're betting on the Falcons, +205 if you're betting on the Panthers. Last time they met, it looks like the Falcons won 24-10. Bijan Johnson.
Bijan's pretty good. And
Bijan Robinson. I don't want to say
excuse me. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
He does have a hamstring injury.
So they're not going to give him the ball a ton. I think he's going to get like 15 touches, 12 to 15.
I'm just hoping it doesn't end up like the headache game where he went in and he had like one snap last year against the Bucks.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah.
God.
And with hamstring, you never know. That could happen. You know what I mean?
He could
run one
he
play
could
and be
go
like,
out there for
no.
warm-ups
Yep.
and decide it's not going to work out. And so Algier is a really strong start today.
Yeah.
Like if you're I would say when I say really strong, I mean in like tournaments for DFS and stuff like that. He's been a solid play as a flex option, but he could end up having a monster day. I agree. I totally agree with what you said earlier. That could happen. On the other side, come on, Andy Dalton. What happened, dude? What are you doing? Where's our fantasy points, bro?
Red Rocket.
The thing that is the most interesting to me on the other side is that Carolina's #1 tight end, Tommy Tremble, went down. So rookie Jatavian Sanders is going to be the #1 tight end option.
Okay.
And Dalton is a guy that targets his tight end.
Really?
So I'm liking
DFS play.
I'm liking what's going on there. Yeah. Because I mean, they're gonna have to score points. They're gonna have to pass the ball, and I think I think this is gonna be a good game for points. On the other side, like we saw it last Thursday, Kirk has figured his offense out. He has figured out how to find all of his weapons. They looked great.
Yes, they did.
The passing game looked great. But as far as like the metrics are concerned, they were successful running the football too. They just didn't do a lot of it, because Kirk was busy going off for 500 yards.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to do that today, but it should still be it should still be like you should be starting Kirk Cousins if you were streaming quarterbacks and he was available to you.
Yeah,
Bears
I
win.
can see that.
By the way, Bears win.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams, baby. Yeah.
In London.
Man, that feels good. What a smart call by me. I dropped Justin Fields and started him in our redraft league. And then I started him over Brock Purdy in my half PPR dynasty league. So that feels
that's
good.
a brave one
and
there. So.
That's the one that feels the best. Because like after Thursday I was like, man, what are the odds? Like I think Caleb's gonna have a good game, but what are the odds he scores more than 30? Pretty low, right? And also like he was my second round draft pick in that league.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that felt really, really, really good. I was able to draft Adonai Mitchell at the end of round 1 and whip right around and draft Caleb Williams. So,
So the Chicago Bears just went out at London and Jacksonville, right? Victory formation comes into play. And just as a fun fact, in the NFL, the practice of kneeling to kill a clock, also known as the victory formation, began to gain widespread use in the 1980s. Before this time, teams would often run actual plays even at the end of the game with a lead, which sometimes led to fumbles and turnovers. And the moment that really pushed the kneel down into common practice was a game in 1978 between the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles in what became known as the Miracle at the Meadowlands. The Giants tried to run a play instead of kneeling down to run out the clock. Their quarterback, Joe, was it Pizarrical? I don't know. Joe something. Joe P. What you got that name?
Joe P.
Where is it?
Pisa.
Put the cursor. Oh, Pasaric.
Joe Pasaric attempted a handoff, which was fumbled and returned for a game-winning touchdown by Eagles cornerback Herman Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
After this incident, teams started to adopt the kneeling
Miracle at
strategy
the Meadowlands.
to avoid similar disasters. So next game up is
That's funny. I didn't realize that was why that play started to gain more use.
That's great. That's a good fact.
Yeah, good stuff, Ray.
So did you get do we all go Falcons?
Yes.
We are.
Okay, so next up is Ken's game of the week. Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys. And the Detroit Lions are minus 3.5 with the over-under 52.5. Minus 175 if you're betting on the Lions, and plus 145 if you're betting on the Cowboys.
And that 52.5 says it all. We're expecting a high-scoring game here. I love Detroit. I think they're firing on all cylinders. And I love betting against Dallas and see how well that works. Yeah. All right. Give me Detroit. I really like the running game for Detroit this week. So we'll see how they do.
Yeah. I think if this game happened 2 weeks ago, people are picking Detroit to just maul Dallas. Mm-hmm. But after the last 2 weeks, the Cowboys have really played well against the run. They've played much better up front, which is surprising because they've lost pieces up front. Like, they lost another one against the Steelers. They lost their second-round draft pick from this year, Marshawn Nealon, who'd been playing pretty well. So now, but we're, I can't, I'd have to look this up and see if Deron Bland is going to play today, but he's close to being back. The all-pro cornerback from last year while Diggs was out. They have not been able to play together at all in 2 years.
Nice.
So we're really looking forward to when that actually happens. So yeah, but I like the Lions running attack more than I like their passing attack today. The key to the game is going to be whether or not the Cowboys are able to get pressure on Goff because there's no Parsons, there's no DeMarcus Lawrence, there's no Nealon.
What was his name?
Who?
Duran. What's his first name?
Who?
You said you were waiting to see if Duran's playing today.
Deron Bland. Bland, as in that is bland food.
Sorry, real quick into the silence here. I just got a little news update, which I thought was kind of interesting.
No, he's not playing today. Go ahead.
The Saints just announced that Rattler is going to be their starter for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like they're saying that.
No, they did that a couple days ago.
Definitely. Oh.
That was
that's
that.
the
They
first time
actually,
I've
I'm
seen
pretty
it.
sure they did that on like Tuesday or Wednesday. Because when I
Started
saw
that last year.
and when I saw Jake Hayner come into the game on Monday night, I was like, why? Where's my guy? And I was a little concerned, to be honest with you. And then when they almost immediately came out and announced that Rattler was going to be the starter, he's the one that took questions this week. That's why the stuff came up about Chris Olave was because he was fielding questions because we all knew he was going to be the starter. But
So.
yeah, I got requests in every league for him this week.
That's funny.
Which
Some
felt
better
good,
than mine.
which felt great. They were all better than yours. Yes.
All right, give me some Detroit this week.
All right, next
Dallas, obviously.
Next up, Bills versus the Jets. We're going into the evening game. -2. I don't really see that very often.
That's not
-2
right.
for the
You
Bills.
you have that game up there twice. That's not the night game Sunday night. It's Cincinnati and New York.
Oh, you're right. So it's good call. Cincinnati versus the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals versus the Giants, -3.5. The over-under is 46, -180 if you're betting on the Bengals, and +150 if you're betting on the Giants.
If Neighbors was in this game, I'd pick the Giants to steal one at home. But without Neighbors, I just really think they're going to struggle to score.
Agreed. And Cincinnati is starting to come around. They're starting to play better.
I mean,
They put up some points.
I wouldn't go that far.
Even their loss to the Ravens.
Joe Burrow has been awesome.
Yeah.
But their defense is
that's fair.
Terrible.
Yeah. And like I say, I love watching them lose. I want them to lose here, but these are picks. You got to pick them to win. I think they're going to win pretty handily here. This is
the
one
Bengals?
of the easier
I don't know
picks of
about
the week.
handily because I don't think they handily beat anybody. I think that's going to be
together.
And I think that's going to be them unless Joe Burrow his comments from this last week actually lit a fire under their ass. I think that's just going to kind of be them all year long is start your Bengals and start people against the Bengals. Until further notice, that's how I'm going to be operating. So I want to start to me I like Wandale. I have Wandale in a lot of spots.
Okay.
I would still rather start Slayton today than start Wandale. If you're talking about like a ceiling play, like if you want 10 points, start Wandale for sure. We need to update that, by the way. The Neighbors versus Wandale season long. It's I think it's 3-3 now. But anyway,
I forgot about that one.
You're taking a Bowmore, dude.
I don't think so.
Yeah, the Neighbors, it's going to be funny. I think the Neighbors concussion missing 2 games is going to cost you. I really think that's going to happen.
I'm not worried.
Anyway, so start Wandale, start Slayton. There's going to be no Singletary tonight, so start Tyrone Tracy, who led the league in rushing last week with 18 carries. So super excited about that. Another guy that I have everywhere in Dynasty. It's great.
Nice.
And then, on the Bengals side, the running back situation is a little iffy now because of the split between Chase Brown and Zach Moss. So it's become a little bit gross. But if you're going to, and it's funny because if you want to start one of them now, you kind of want to start Chase Brown because he just looks better. But I personally don't want to be starting either of those guys.
They both had some injury issues this week, but they're both playing through them, right?
I think Chase Brown had injury issues coming into the season and has been cleared up. I think it's just Moss that's a little banged up, and he was questionable to play. And if Moss wasn't playing, it would be Chase Brown and Tyrone Tracy would be like 2 of my favorite starts of the week at running back. That being said, I don't really love either of them. To me, flex at best.
You don't want to start them if you can help
not if you're starting 2 running backs and you can start a receiver over either of these guys. I would do that.
Yeah.
And then in the receiving core, I believe did Gesicki go down?
Yeah.
I think
that sounds right.
That's another interesting thing is they have another one of these tight end prospects that is worth watching. His name's Eric All. If you play Dynasty, you know who he is, and he is definitely rostered. But in redraft, there's no chance that he's on anybody's roster. So he's a player to watch out for this week if you're struggling at tight end and you're in tight end hell.
Gesicki looks like he's healthy.
He is. Then never mind. Forget everything I said in the last 30 seconds. But anyway, Eric All is somebody who's supposed to be interesting to be watching. He's supposed to be getting more opportunities. And then obviously, Chase, Higgins. Don't start Yosivas.
Right.
But give me the Bengals. I will take the Bengals in this.
Next up, we got the Bills versus the Jets. Bills -2, over-unders 40.5, -130 is the money line, +110 if you're betting on the Jets. And the last time they played, it looks like the Bills won 28-14 in 2019.
Now we finally get to talk about the juiciest story of the week in the league.
Right.
What happened, Salah?
Wow. Yeah. What happened? Craziness. 2-3, 5 games in, just not what you expected to see.
I think it
feels like something had to happen behind the scenes, but
honestly, it feels like just because there had been things getting leaked that were reportedly coming from the owner's mouth. It feels like he just kind of like jumped the gun a little bit and is a little impatient. And he's been in his position for a while, like 25 years or something like that. Woody Johnson, I forget how long he's been the owner of the team, but it's 20 plus years at this point. And so I get that he's frustrated, but to me, there were plenty of good signs. And it's really interesting because like I was just getting to this point where I was thinking, and I heard it somewhere too. And when I heard it somewhere, I was like, damn it, I knew I should have said it first because I was already thinking it. And it's that it was starting to remind me of that 2020 season for the Bucks. If you remember, the first half of that season did not go well. They were like, I want to say they were like 3-4, and
okay, and this is the Tom Brady year.
This is the first year Tom Brady was there. The first year was there, and that's the thing is like it feels a little different because Aaron Rodgers was supposed to play last year, but he didn't. So this is really his first year in New York.
For sure.
And there's a lot that goes along with that and getting used to new things. And if you remember, there were people talking about Brady being done halfway through the season. They remember that Sunday night game when he didn't know it was 4th down?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I remember that.
And remember how bad they looked at that point?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Then they went on a run.
They sure did. Yeah. And they got a playmaking receiver that they added to a receiver core that was already thought to be pretty good because they had Mike Evans, a 27-year-old Mike Evans in his prime, and a young Chris Godwin, who was coming off of I think in 2019 he was like the wide receiver 2 in fantasy football. So they were thought to be really good already, and they brought in Antonio Brown, and they had Gronk. They had Gronk too, right. And they brought in Antonio Brown and went to the moon. So if they had brought in Devontae Adams, does this team not get better? I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah. And so I thought it was early. I liked Robert Saleh. I didn't see anything from like his decision making in terms of because if you're going to blame something right now, you're blaming like the offense and injuries. And he's not like you hired a defensive coordinator as your head coach. So if you want to fix the offense, don't fire the head coach. Maybe get him a new offensive coordinator. Right. Get him a new offensive mind in there. So I thought that would have been a smarter fix. I don't think anybody liked Nathaniel Hackett. And it kind of feels like he just slipped the guillotine. Like, right. It should have been him instead of Robert Saleh. If someone's head should have been rolling, it should have been Nathaniel Hackett to me.
I just feel like we really
the way that you know that is they took the play calling responsibilities away from him. So he's there, but in the way that Jason Garrett was in the building after the job went to Mike McCarthy, or like I should say before the job went to Mike McCarthy, and after we knew it wasn't going to be Jason Garrett, and Jason Garrett was still at the Star in his office every day.
Right.
That's what they've got going on in New York now. Is we know Nathaniel Hackett's been fired, but he's still there.
He's going to help out.
He's going to walk around. He's going to roam the halls. So all that being said,
definitely strange. I feel like we don't really know what happened. I am too. Yeah, a lot of times when this kind of a shakeup happens, it really stirs up the team.
The Jets?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It really stirs up the team when something like this happens, the big shakeup.
Yeah, lights a fire in their ass.
Yeah, it really does. I expect them to win.
And that's the only perspective that I can kind of respect it from is like you expect that like from the coaching staff perspective, like the next man up mentality will kick in and they'll be able to coach these players. And it's really just about like scaring the players into the fact, hey, you could all be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like I just fired your boss. Do you think I won't fire you?
Yeah, exactly.
So that from that perspective, but then again, that's not my way of managing people. So that's not how I would have gone after it. I'm much more like, what's the actual problem here?
Weird.
So Bezzy says that Ideally, a defensive head coach works well with the veteran quarterback, and an offensive head coach works well with a young rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
Hadn't thought about it, but I can see that.
Next up is the Thursday.
The exception being Andy Reid and Mahomes.
And this is the Thursday. I mean, I think Stafford and McVay work good together, too.
Stafford wasn't young.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Broncos versus the Saints. Broncos -1. Over-unders 36.5. -110 on both on the money line.
I'll take the Saints at home. It'll be Rattler's second start. At home, prime time.
Give me the Broncos.
It's gonna be loud. Yeah, I'll take the
And
Saints.
Brian's lone wolf in the Broncos.
Yeah. I don't have
That's
faith
cool.
in
So
Rattler
wait.
yet.
I'm gonna lone wolf the Broncos today, and
And
then
I
you're
am
gonna
next
do it on
week.
Thursday. Awesome. That's nice. And you're gonna do it while they're on the road.
Yep.
It's really funny. It's cute.
Against the Rattler.
And we didn't end up with a bet today. We didn't find anything. We didn't find anything to bet
Nothing
on.
stuck out at us. We still have to go over our DraftKings lineups. Maybe
Something will
stick
pop
out
out
to
there.
us.
That's true. Who won last week? That person lead us off. Was it Ray?
Yeah, man, I
That's
fucking
right.
killed it.
You killed it last
153.06. Might have been my highest scoring for the year. It was. But the highest scorer is Brian, still at 154.46. That happened in week 3. Let's see here. My contests, lineups, upcoming lineups. Let's take a look. What do I got going on today? So,
We're going cash first or tournament first?
cash. I
That's right.
didn't do
That's
tournament.
right. Okay, I have both.
Cash is the
You have
only
both?
thing I track, too,
Okay.
by the way. So, I'm leading off with Hurts as quarterback for Philadelphia, Irving, Tampa Bay running back, Pollard, Tennessee.
Okay, we're not live at running back.
Dio Johnson and for Carolina.
Deontay. Okay.
London in Atlanta.
Nice.
McLeod III in Atlanta. And Ferguson in Dallas for my tight end.
Nice.
B. Robinson for my Atlanta.
Which B.
flex.
Robinson? Bijan?
Bijan.
Atlanta, yeah,
Okay.
B. Robinson. And defense is going to be the Bucks.
Is that like a disrespect move? You put Bijan in the flex and you put Bucky Irving and Tony Pollard in the running back spots? Are you flexing on Bijan?
I honestly don't even like.
Listen, I
don't
know you're
think
going to be my third best running back today. I don't care about the price.
I think in terms of like, who do I put in this slot? Who do I put in this slot? I don't think of like in terms of.
I was
this
just
is your
kidding.
number one. No, but
Yeah.
it's a good valid point because in my mind people are like, this should be your running back 2. This should be your running back 3, but it doesn't impact the points.
No, it doesn't.
at all.
No, it doesn't.
So it's like
it's almost like a troll. Yeah.
Yeah, so to me, when I'm picking slots, I'm just picking like, okay, now I'm on this one, now I'm on this one, now I'm on this one, and I don't think in terms of like I'm gonna put who I think is the top performer and wide receiver 1 or anything like that.
Well, and see what I'll do a lot of times, and how I ended up with Bijan in my flex, is that
That's funny. That's
yeah.
really funny. It's just too funny.
You go in, you put in your values, who you really want to play, everything else, and then you get down to your flex, and it's like, okay, how much money do I have left?
Yeah.
What can I buy?
Yeah.
And wow, Bijan's out there at that price. Even with the limited snaps, I'm going to take Bijan there.
Yeah.
So
That's more so my
the rest of my lineup. Rattler, as much as I've been talking crap about him, because he is a rookie coming in and everything, his DraftKings price is
4,000. Yeah, it's I thought about that too. It's interesting.
If he scores 10 points, it's fine. That's fine. If he scores 14 points, more than I wanted. I mean, or more than I could have asked for. You know what I mean? And he could go off for 20. So
he could go off for 20.
dude, and that would be going off. That's 5 times his price at 20. So to me, you never know.
Yeah,
you know,
I get it.
Derrick Henry at 8,000 seems like he's going to crush this week. Bucky Irving, like say, backfield all to himself against New Orleans. It feels like that's a really good spot for Bucky. Deontay Johnson, he's going to be peppered with targets all day long because they're going to be trailing Atlanta. CeeDee Lamb, the Detroit defense is a pass funnel, and CD likes to catch them passes. Yeah. And then we got Mooney over there. Mooney's a good
who
start.
were your three? I'm sorry. Who was the first wide receiver you said?
Deontay Johnson.
Okay.
CD Lamb and Darnell Mooney.
I also have Lamb and Mooney.
And then I've got Cotton at 3,500. Basically, he's cheap and he's getting the targets. And then the only defense I could afford were the Patriots. So they're at home. You never know.
Ooh, interesting. I think that's going to work out for you, buddy.
You think so?
I do, actually. I do. They have a cornerback who's starting to get some buzz. His name's Christian Gonzalez. He was a first rounder last year from Oregon, playing really good football.
Yeah.
Yeah. He shut down Brandon Ayuk. Who did they have last week? He shut down Waddle last week. He was on Waddle, not Hill. And Waddle did nothing, absolutely nothing. I think he had less than 5 points last week.
So you think Diggs has a bad week because of him?
I think so. I'm iffy about Diggs. I think that's where he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be on Dell. I think he's going to be on Diggs.
That would be my thought as well.
So I am contrarian to you guys in the sense that I spent money on my quarterback. I am starting Lamar Jackson today at 7,800. And he's going to be my tournament quarterback too. It's just for 7,800, and what I expect him to do to the Commanders today is just too cheap. It's too cheap. He could score 40. Like, I think he's going to be like in cash. You want 3x plus on your investment. Lamar to score 24 points today. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then at running back, I've got the same running backs as Ray. I've got Bucky Irving and Tony Pollard. And then at wide receiver, we're sharing wide receivers with Brian over here. I've got Lamb, Mooney, and then my third is going to be McLaurin to stack back against Lamar Jackson. And then he's also just getting all of the targets, the important targets for the Commanders. He's getting them all. My tight end, as I expressed earlier, is Jatavian Sanders at $2,600. So he doesn't have to do a lot. We're talking about 3 catches. He has 3 catches, and then if he scores, woo! What's that Vince McMahon meme?
I actually saw
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
I've seen the video to that the other day. I was like, oh, that's where all those memes came from.
Yes. I remember watching. So I've seen the meme, and I remember watching the event that it happened in live because it was him sitting in the middle of the ring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was like I think it was one of the WWF divas was doing something, and it was like supposed to be like a.
She was giving him a dance.
Yes, I was gonna say sensual, X-rated, somewhere between there, like one of those moments. I can't remember which one it was though. It wasn't Sable, was it? Was it Sable?
I don't remember who it was. I don't track.
Did she have giant boobs?
I don't remember. I watched like the first few seconds of it, but when he started doing this, I was like, "Oh, that's where this came from." And
It's really good. Vince McMahon's a really good actor. He should have been in some movies.
I wouldn't be surprised if he is in some movies. As
He might be,
stuff.
But I don't think so. I imagine he was probably too busy with the WWF when everything was going on, and by the time he was had any time to do that, since his kids have taken over, he's probably just got so much money. It's like why, right. But Vince McMahon as a villain in a movie would have been so good. So good. He's such a good villain. Top 5 all-time villains, Vince McMahon for sure.
Very punchable.
So sorry, I digressed. In my flex, I do not have Bijan Robinson. I have Rashad Bateman, who I like today.
Okay.
He's been playing 3/4 or more of the snaps all season, and he's getting the good targets. Like Flowers is getting the bulk of the targets, the targets that happen within 5 yards of the field, but Bateman is their field stretcher. And Washington gives up big plays. So I like Bateman as a sneaky play today. I'm also I have to play him as my third wide receiver in Top Gun in redraft. So I was like, you know what, let's ride. Let's do it. And I do like the start though. I do, because I did choose him to play him over guys like Spears and guys that I gave advice for earlier that are now off of the waiver wire, like Polk was another option. Yeah, and then
Sable, according to Bezzy. It was Sable, according to Bezzy.
it was Sable. Yeah. Those what was it? 38 special D's or special E's or something, whatever it was. They used to advertise her boobs.
What the heck?
We've come a long way as a society. All right, so I have Bateman the flex, and then I have the Steelers defense today
Nice.
against the Raiders. Yeah,
That's the most expensive defense, too.
yeah,
Most expensive defense and most expensive quarterback.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Vince McMahon.
that's how you win.
Vince McMahon, he was the voice for Robo WrestleMania in 2017, Jetsons and WWE, and played a cameo role in No Holds Bar in 1989.
No Holds Barred. Is that like a Stallone movie?
It was a movie starring Hulk Hogan, so go for it.
That's fine. Okay,
Makes
that's
sense.
Funny. Yeah. Man, I that was my major takeaway from watching that the documentary is, man, Hulk Hogan was kind of a punk.
Well, he had a reality show there for a while. You could kind of see that. I can't remember what it was. Go for it.
Yeah,
Brian.
kind of a diva, kind of a questionable, has kind of a questionable character.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
For my tournament lineup, I am going with the Washington-Baltimore game here. I'm stacking it up. I'm going to go with Jordan Daniels.
Jaden Daniels?
Jaden Daniels, thank you. Austin Eckler and Terry McLaurin are my stacks on that side.
Very nice.
And then I'm going to go Derrick Henry on the Baltimore side because that's where I expect the points to go. In addition, we're going to go with Amari Cooper. I think he might get some redeeming points here. The Philly defense has not been good against the wide receiver, and so I think he's going to have a better game. And I need somebody a little bit low owned, and I don't think he's going to be on a lot of people's radars. I've got Tolbert as my other wide receiver, and then I'm sticking with Cade Otton for the price. And then Bucky Irving, I've been all over him. And I'm going to go with the Tennessee defense against Indy.
Ooh, that's a good
I
one.
think that
That's nice.
might be interesting.
All right, I already told you guys Lamar Jackson I think is just too much of a steal. Like he definitely could still be the quarterback one. We've already seen multiple 30-point performances at quarterback with the first two games, and Lamar could still end up as QB1. I think he could have like that monster of a game. He's on pace for another MVP season. I also have Eckler.
Nice.
I mean, no Brian Robinson. $5,600. You got to start Eckler.
Yes.
Like he could have a monster game. I could be wrong. He could catch 10 passes, run for 70 yards, and score twice. Could happen.
Right.
Could happen. Derrick Henry. It is very non-conventional wisdom to stack a quarterback and a running back together. But the Ravens are a non-conventional offense in terms of how they score. When they get inside the 5, one of these two guys is going to produce points. And sometimes it'll be both.
Yeah. Rare.
I mean, Henry can pass. And they line up in the Wildcat. Lamar catches a pass. I mean, Jared Goff caught a touchdown.
Well, I was thinking Henry might catch
Jared
a
Goff
touchdown,
caught a
but-
touchdown from his wide receiver. Derrick Henry has thrown touchdowns before, and Lamar Jackson is a much better athlete than Jared Goff. So let's not act like it can't happen. All right. And then, so that's my Baltimore and Washington stack. I have another mini stack. I didn't want to super stack that game because and most of the time in tournaments you do want to do that because rising tide raises all boats. I think that game is going to have the scores come from very what's the word I'm looking for here? Very narrow parameters. In the sense that I think a lot of Washington's points are going to come from Jaden Daniels, Austin Eckler, and Terry McLaurin. And I think a lot of Baltimore's points are going to come from Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So, trying to, put in Mark Andrews or put in, Zach Ertz or put in, McLaurin and Flowers, I don't think is where you want to go if you're creating a tournament lineup today. So I went over to the Carolina-Atlanta game, and I've got Xavier Legette at 4,900. He got hurt last week, but he's fine. He left the game early, and that's why he didn't have a great game. Didn't play the same amount of snaps as he's been playing, but he's clearly their best receiver. Deontay Johnson is a get open machine, and I think that just helps Leggett be better. And then Mooney, at 5,300, I don't see how you don't start him. He should have scored twice on Thursday. He dropped a pass at the end of that game where he just walks into the end zone for a 40-yard touchdown, and you score another 11 points on top of the 25-ish that he scored or something like that in the game. So until further notice, I'm starting Mooney, London, and Pitts every week if I have them. And then I spent up for Amon-Ra St. Brown on the opposite side of CeeDee Lamb. You just kind of you figure that he just guaranteed targets. He hasn't been scoring that much this year, but you kind of figure that touchdown regression has got to kick in at some point, and he's going to score. And I think the Cowboys are going to sell out today to stop the run, and he's going to have a big day because I think they're going to have to score. I don't think they're going to be able to completely stop the Cowboys. If the Steelers couldn't do it at home, I don't think the Lions are going to be able to do it in Dallas. And then I already told you I like the Patriots today, and I'm going to pair Antonio Gibson up with the Patriots defense, and that completes my lineup. Nice. And I used 100% of my dollars.
Yeah.
Which always feels good. So it is now 10:01.
Enjoy your football, people.
Football is happening. Enjoy it, people. I hope you win today. Unless you're playing against me, then, die in a fire, Cam.
All right.
Thank you.
See y'all.
And
game.
just one last thing before we go. We are going to try to commit to being live at 8:30 going forward.
8:30, guys.
8:30 going
Pacific
forward.
Standard Time.
Pacific Standard
if you
Time.
are in other time zones like our good buddy Bezzy.
All right.
10:30 for you, buddy. We'll be here next week.
See you guys all later.